everybody, Kimmel's Irish Pub. Tonight's movie's Unsane. Never heard of it, don't know. Searching. DirecTV has it for $16.99, but Amazon Prime has it for $14.99. So be an Amazon member. 6.6. It's the highest rated film I can find on IMDb that I haven't seen that is, somewhat new. In 2018. I'm trying to stay modern. But if there's anything in the past that you want to see, let me know. But, alright. A young woman is involuntarily committed to the mental institution where she is confronted by her greatest fear. But is it real or a product of her delusions? So, it's a thriller horror movie. An hour and 38 minutes. And I don't recognize Juno Temple. I've seen her in a couple of things. Young blonde girl. Other than that, I don't recognize anybody from their profile pictures. Claire Foy. It seems like she's the star of this. So, sorry. Maybe when I see them on the big screen, I'll recognize them and then I can relate them back to other things that I've seen them in. I don't know. I'll get into it a little bit. I'm going to tell you if it's any good. Spent enough money, so stick around. I'll be back at some point. It'll probably be free or at least cheaper. So if it is good, I'll tell you what to do. If it's worth the money, I'll tell you that too. Alright, enough of me talking. Let's get watching. I'll be back. Hey everybody. We're at the 47-minute mark and 5 second of Unsane. I didn't even realize that much time had gone by. So keeps you interested. So this girl, her name's Sawyer in the movie. She seems like she's got a normal job, got things going for her. She moves away from her family. You come find out because she had a stalker. So she moves to Pennsylvania. Woohoo! Good job, but her boss hits on her, but I think that's insignificant. She goes out on dates with, it seems like Tinder, because, she's only had one thing in mind, and after that, she never wants to hear from the guy again. Anyway, they're on this date, and they're making out, and she flips out. And I think they don't say this, but I think she sees her stalker in the guy. So she has a problem. She has a mental issue because of this guy who had stalked her in the past, and she sees him every now and again. So she sees it in this date. She flips out, whatever. And so because of that, she seeks help, and she goes to a help group of some sort, and she signs papers. They trick her into signing papers, and then they admit her into the mental institution for 24 hours. And she's fighting back, of course, because she doesn't think she belongs there. And everything that she's doing is increasing like her time in the mental institution, and they won't let her go. So it really makes you feel like helpless. Like, what if this really happened? Like, there's no way of getting out or anything like that, and they keep giving her medicine and stuff like that. It's like a Shutter Island. What was the other one? There's another one like that too. Very similar type situation. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, maybe. But I don't think that's the one I'm thinking of. Anyway, they keep retaining her in this mental institution. So she's stuck there. And that's where we are right now. That's the plot. She finally was able to reach out to her mother. A patient inside the hospital has a cell phone hidden. She reached out to her mother. Her mother comes. They still won't release her to the mother. But that's where we are right now. She's conversing with her mother, trying to plead for her help to get out of there. But interesting. Meanwhile, major part I forgot to tell you about. So she's in this mental institution, and there's another guy who works there who she keeps saying is her stalker. So it makes it appear as she's even crazier. So the doctors and nurses think she's just crazy because she keeps calling this guy the stalker. And, they're saying it isn't him. He's worked there for a while. Whatever. But it makes her appear crazier. But it's really like you don't know what's true. Is she crazy? So they got you battling yourself on, is she really, mentally troubled and belongs in there? Or is she not, besides what we talked about earlier, and she should be released? So who knows? I don't know. I think we're in for a nice surprise ending. I'm hoping, and we'll maybe make this movie better. Like I said, it's intriguing. I didn't realize 47 minutes has gone by already, and I didn't check in, so I'm glad I did. I'm gonna get back to it now. You got a great idea on what the plot is. At least I think you got a great idea. But I'll let you know if it gets any better. If there's another check-in, whatever. I'll see you at the credits. Stick around. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of Unsane. Sort of. The credits were really quick, which I thought was odd. And the way that the credits rolled was like a 70s or 80s film. You know, if you watch this movie, you'll know what I mean. I thought that was very strange. Now the difficult part of finishing my review, because I think, you know, how I am, I don't like to give away spoilers, so it's hard to really talk about this movie without giving away the spoilers. I'll quickly recap. As I had said, she gets into the mental institution, and you're at the point where you're not sure, is she truly there's mental issues with her, and she's seeing all these different things, or are these things really happening? And I can tell you that you learn pretty much early on. After the last check-in, which was around 47 minutes, it wasn't far after that point that you really learn what could be happening there, and then let the rest of it play out. And I'm not going to tell you what it was, but you know, so. But I will tell you this, that the first 47 minutes, as I had said, had gone really quick. The second half of the movie really slowed down for me. I think maybe because it became obvious on what's happening, and maybe the intrigue. I lost the intrigue in the movie, and was just more interested in the ending. I think that's what happened, and maybe that'll be what happened to you. And I think that's a good way to describe it. I mean, I'm probably going to give it a 6. Two things I do want to tell you before I'm going to start talking freely. But two things which I thought was amazing. Matt Damon is in this movie. He's not in the credits, so that's a little something you learned by tuning into Kimmel's Irish Pub. Matt Damon is actually in this movie. Small role, but significant role. He plays a guy who helps her when she was being stalked. He's kind of like you know, like almost like a private detective, but not so much. But just trying to tell her how to protect herself from stalkers moving forward. Very interesting. And Robert Kelly. Not a lot of people might know who he is. Comedian. He was a comedian with Dane Cook. Back in the day, they used to travel together. I used to follow Dane Cook in his earlier years. And Robert Kelly, he was a really good comedian. He's in this. He plays a cop in this. So there are two interesting things. But other than that, there's not much more I can tell you without spoiling it for you. So I'm going to give it a 6. And if you're interested, I'm sorry. Other than that, there are some holes in this movie. Quite obvious holes, I think, that might even take me down to a 5. While the movie was interesting, at least the beginning of it, and it slowed down at the end, these holes in this movie, you know, make you go, You know, sometimes I don't allow holes to ruin the movie, because, you know, there's a lot of holes in a lot of different movies and they'd really ruin it. But this one really stood out to me. And if you watch this and you see this, let me know if you figure it out, because I don't know how they made this happen. So it's kind of an obvious one, and there's some other ones as well. But that's it. That's all I'm going to tell you for now. And if you're going to watch this movie, go ahead and watch it and turn me off now, because I'm going to talk a little bit freely in a couple seconds. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, please turn it off now. Smash the like button and leave me some comments, and continue to tune into Kimmel's Irish Pub, okay? Alright, you've been warned. Okay, so, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So, the second half of the movie, we find out she's still a little crazy, but it really is the dude. And the whole is, how does he become a nurse in this mental institution? You know, what's his background? What kind of qualifications do you need to make that happen? Okay, so we don't know anything about that. That's okay. You could probably forge that. Maybe it doesn't take a lot to become a nurse in a mental institution. I don't know. But how did he know to go to that one? You know, and how did he know she was going to be there? So it all hinges on that. And that's what blew it for me, was like, okay, you know, he becomes a nurse at a mental institution that he knows she's going to go to just because she lives there. I don't know. A little far-fetched for me there. I think they needed to pull that together a little bit more. And second halt, a little bit more insignificant. Again, now, if you've seen this movie and we can talk openly, at the end, she goes back to work. Welcome back to work with open arms after missing over 7 days because of all this, which, okay, I guess kind of interesting because somebody misses work because of a mental issue, even though she was held kidnapped. I don't know. In 6 months' time, she becomes promoted. So how does that happen? You know, misses work, ends up in a mental institution for whatever reason, and then she gets promoted within 6 months. I thought that was kind of interesting. Again, very insignificant, but it, you know, shows at the end like a little bit more of how her mind really is, in a sense. But I felt that they drug out the end. You know, it went much longer. And I'm not sure. Here's another piece that I might have missed and you caught it, and I promise this is it. They figure out who the guy is, the stalker, right? And he's the nurse at the mental institution. But they find a Jane Doe in the woods, right? And they get the fingerprints off of her, and they tie it back to him, and that's how they now know it's him, and they could start going after him, right? But I assumed when they said that the Jane Doe that was found in the park was the girl's mother, right? I mean, did you think that too? Because, I mean, they never said it, but I just assumed that's who it was. But yet, if the cops found her, after the jogger found her, you would think she's in the morgue or whatever. But then, and maybe I missed it, but then she ends up in the trunk of the car with her daughter. So how does that happen? You know, so some holes there, and like I said, maybe I missed something there, and you could correct me in the comments below. Let me know how wrong I was, or if you saw the same things. But that's it. It's easier to talk when we both know a little bit more about the movie, or you don't really care and you're not going to watch it anyway, and you just like to hear what I think. So that made it easier than rambling on about not spoiling it for you. All right, that's enough. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. Kimmel's Irish Pub. Tune in next time for another movie review, beer talk, or fantasy football. All right.